The next note that we're going to talk about is statement of responsibility notes. And statement of responsibility notes are used to include the names of people who were involved with the intellectual content, creating that intellectual content of the item that you're working with, who were not named in the 245 field with the title and statement of responsibility. There are two types of statement of responsibility notes. One of them is the participants and performers note, and this is basically used for people who appear in front of the camera. So actors in a movie, for example, would be one use of the participants and performers notes. So in this case, the names of the actors are given on the back of the case. They also would be listed in the credits for when you actually watch the item, and that would be another source of information. And so you can list the names of the actors and actresses in participants and performers note. But it doesn't have to be actors and actresses. For example, with a more talk show-like format, you could have a host and presenters, and so you can go ahead and put their names in a participants and performers note. Notice that if there are people who are performing different roles, you want to separate their names with a space, semicolon, space. A participants and performers note goes in a 511 field in a marked record. So here are the two examples that we looked at before. In both cases, the text of the note goes in subfield A. Unlike some note fields, the 511 field does have some indicators that are defined. In the first example, you'll see that the first indicator is 1. And this is because it generates a display constant. If you use a first indicator of 1, the word cast will automatically appear in front of your note in your field, in your catalog, if your catalog supports it. And so if you're listing the actors and actresses in a video and you want the word cast to appear in front of it, you can use the first indicator of 1. On the other hand, the first indicator of 0 does not produce a display constant. So if it's not a traditional cast of performers in your note, and you want to be able to go ahead and specify the roles in the note itself, then just use the first indicator of 0. This will leave the display constant blank, and you can specify the roles of the various people in the text of the note. So in this case, we have the moderator and the presenters specified in the note itself. The other type of statement of responsibility note is the production credits note. And so this, in contrast to the other note, this one is used to give the names of the people who are behind the camera, the people you don't see but who contributed to the intellectual content of the work. And again, it's people who were not already named in the 245 field. So in this case, we have things like the composer, the editor, the director of photography. You would go ahead and put those in a production credits note. And again, notice that people who have different roles are separated by a space, semicolon, space. A production credits note goes in a 508 field in a marked record. Again, the text of the note goes in a subfield A, and notice that in this case both indicators are undefined.